election into the for the position of chairman and councillors across the 18 local government areas of the state is scheduled to hold July 11, 2027, and that's this week Saturday. And of course, you know what election means. Whenever it comes up, a lot of things have to be put in place. And at the center of this election is the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission, ETSEC. How far has ETSEC gone in organizing for this election? Have they crossed the commission, crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's? Yes. So in this week's edition of Midweek Connect, we will be looking at this particular election on the 11th of July 2026. Welcome on board. I still remain Udrakobong Achibong, and of course I'm not always alone presenting. Ifeoma Kafo is always there, and so we have our guest. We have our guest here in the studio to look more into what we have for you this morning, and of course we are glad to have here a representative from ETSEC. Let me start from my extreme right. A representative from ETSEC. He is the Electoral Commissioner, ICT and Training, Dr. Suleiman Ikoria.
Maureen, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming. And of course, we also have alongside him for this program this morning a political analyst. He speaks to whatever happens in the society here, and his name is Edosa Okumbo.
Thank you.
You're welcome to the studio, sir. It's good having you. I think it's the first time we are having you here.
Yes.
The two guests, and we are so glad to have you around.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And of course, you know what we are looking at.
Yes.
The local government election coming up this Saturday. But before we go into that discussion, I think we have a report to really launch us into discussion.
Preparations for the July 11th local government elections are gradually entering into the final stage. Behind me are officials of the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission. They are saying preparing sensitive and non-sensitive materials, including ballot boxes, as part of efforts to ensure a smooth and credible electoral process.
We are far gone in the exercise. We are about 85% ready. All the materials that are expected, needed, are in place. Sensitive and the non-sensitive materials are all available, and we've started training of ad hoc staff. We are very much on ground in preparation, so we are ready, waiting for the day, 11th of July.
The party went through due process before we got our candidates. You know, they are people with proven track records. And as soon as they come in, because of the foundation His Excellency have laid, you discover that they will start, the sailing will be very smooth. Though people will get the best, because the local government is the closest to the people. Preparation is very much on top gear, because we have a man who is determined to bring development to the grassroots.
For eligible voters, the expectation is for a peaceful and transparent process.
It's a thing everybody should participate, because the local government is the arm of government that is closer to the people. So we should all come out in mass to vote our candidate. If we get it right at the local government level, to translate to state and to the national level also.
Expectations are that the exercise will be a hitch-free one. In Benin, Joy Igbo, NTA.
Thank you, Joy, for that report. Yes, let's begin with ETSEC person here. From what you've heard, 85% ready. So as at now, I think that should have been a day ago or so. We had that report.
That was on Monday.
Okay, right now, at present, what's the level of preparedness? How prepared is ETSEC for this election? You would have passed 85 if I want to assume. So tell us, at what point is actually ETSEC as far as this election is concerned?
I would like to say that, as a lecturer from the academic community, I would have just said 100% ready. But sometimes, we don't just give people a score of 100% because of the fact that we are human beings, and you still need to give room for certain unforeseen issues that may come up. But as far as the commission is concerned, we have outlined about 15 activities in our timetable of schedules since the release of the notice of election. That was last year, 16th of July. The law mandates, the Electoral Act mandates the commission to release the notice of election within 360 days before the day of election, which we did to give ample time for political parties to be able to organize their primaries and what have you, their processes leading to the election. So we started very early, and we have carried out virtually all pre-election activities that we have planned to carry out, from the notice to the stakeholders meetings with political parties and other stakeholders within the state. We've monitored primaries of political parties that are going to be contesting in the election. We have also given out the nomination forms to political parties that are contesting to fill the names of their candidates that will be flying their flag. The political party in turn and fill these forms and submitted to EDSEC. EDSEC are published the list of candidates of political parties, giving room for replacement and resolution of party issues, internal issues. We have also followed that with publishing the final list of the candidate, having exhausted the period of replacement and resolution of disputes in the political parties. We've gone further to receiving names of party agents, because all these are in the timetable of activities. So we've told the parties and other stakeholders that we're going to adhere strictly to the rules, to the Electoral Act guiding the electoral process, and that we have followed up until the beginning of campaigns, and campaigns are still ongoing. I think by Thursday campaigns will be winding down, and like the chairman said, we've last week we were all over the 18 local government of Edo State, carrying a capacity building training for our dog staff. We have trained the electoral officers, the permanent staff, everybody that has a role to play. We have had series of meetings with our security agents. That yesterday, I was with the chairman with the CP Monday Abonika, where we were looking at dotting the I's and crossing the T's, as far as security is concerned towards the elections of Saturday. So virtually there's nothing that we have not done that we have planned to do. So that's why I said I would have just said 100%, because we have done virtually everything, pre-election activities that we had planned. By the grace of God, we have successfully been able to carry them out.
All right, thank you. I'll still come to you, but let me come to Mr. Dosa. Sir, I know that from what he said, a timetable was released, and it so far followed procedure, the days of activities. Coming from your own assessment, from what you've seen done so far throughout this period, there is almost election day on Saturday. What's been your assessment of processes, activities, whether EDSEC itself, political parties, and the rest?
Okay, thank you very much. I want to agree with him that they have done almost everything, but I also want to disagree. There's one area they have not covered, and that is area of sensitization. That brings the press into the picture. When you are conducting election of this magnitude, the press is supposed to be a partner or stakeholders in the processes leading to the election. Though some of us have taken time to visit EDSEC, and you actually like the reports, there have been a beehive of activities there, but if not for investigative tendencies, because we are also journalists, I don't think the general public is sensitized enough. They are too aware, because there have not been even special announcement on TV or radio, no jingle to show that election is holding on Saturday. And that's not to say they are not doing their job. I'm only just pointing out this area, that they still have ample opportunity between now and Saturday to create awareness that election, because local government is the closest tier of government to the grassroots, and Nigerians have this belief, they are fixated on January 16th. If you ask an average Edoman, he's talking about January 16th, when the presidential election and National Assembly, but he's not even aware that the one that is closest to him, which is even more important to me, local government is more important to me, because I don't need to go to government house to look, waiting to see government, but I can walk into the chairman's office or even talk to my councillor and I'll get whatever I want done. So they need to up their games in giving publicity to this.
Okay. So before you ask, I want him to react to it.
That's what I want to. There's a follow-up. This thing I want to ask him. I know he's talking from the angle of he's a journalist. You know, a renowned journalist at that, who has been covering elections in the state. So he made mention of this sensitization, which is a very key factor. You know, a unit in electioneering processes. I'm talking about voter ed. You know how important voter education is, and it's through this sensitization that this voter education, all of them come together as a convergence for a peaceful process. So what's your reaction on that?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to address some of these issues. I think yesterday, why moving from the CP's office to ETSEC office, myself and the chairman, we were listening to a program on radio where somebody said is not aware that election is holding, local government election is holding on the 11th. And my friend here just also mentioned the same thing, even as a journalist, that people are not aware. You know, I think as a commission that has the mandate to conduct credible elections, you know, in Edo State, we have done a lot, you know, to create that awareness and to bring that voters' education to the people in Edo State. It may interest you to know that when you talk about jingles, we have done jingles in EBS. I don't know if ITV, I mean NTA is part of the stations, ITV, not just in English, in Pidgin English, in Igbanke, in Eastern language, in Isako language, about 6 or 7 languages, and those jingles are being aired about 2 weeks before the date of the election. So if you are not aware, it's a different board game entirely, but as a commission, this is what we are doing.
I think
talking about going to the television now, yes, and radio.
Yes,
now talking about voters education, civic education programs, we have gone around each of the local government in Edo State. Today I'm supposed to be in Eastern Southeast as I speak with you, delivering a talk on voters education. I had to call the EO. We have done it in as far as Akoko Edo. I was there delivering talks on civic, how can we strengthen, you know, our democracy at the grassroots level, you know, our democracy at the grassroots level, you know, the local government level. So we have done a lot. We even took it, the voters education program, we took it to even religious, you know, leaders, you know, program. I was in Iroa, you know, a few weeks ago, where I went to deliver the role of the religious leader, you know, in the forthcoming election. They were doing their AGM, and then they invited us, the imams from different local government in the state, all gathered, over 100 of them, and they were talking about, you know, and they invited us to collaborate with them, and we were happy to do that. NOAA, National Election Agency, has been coming to us, and we have been collaborating with them to ensure that they help us pass these messages, in places of worship, in marketplaces and what have you.
Okay.
So we are doing so much. We are doing so much, to ensure that this education and sensitization gets to the people.
Okay, Doc. You were tempted to give 100% to the preparation by the commission based on this 11th this Saturday's forthcoming local government elections. So how do you see this issue, these challenges of state government interference? When it comes to local government elections, you see governors of states trying to hijack the process, still talking about challenges, this widespread of electoral malpractices, logistics not coming to some of these wards and polling units. So you talked about being readily ready,
Yes.
that the commission is ready. So what are you looking at? I don't know if you're going to take it bit by bit, state government interference, when it comes to local government election, people will always say, is it not for governor? That's governor's election. So this time around, what are you going to do differently?
Please permit me, before I respond to that question, to mention that, frankly speaking, issue of election is one that is a multi-stakeholder, process. The commission, ETSEC, alone cannot on its own conduct what an election should be like. You need other stakeholders like the media to come in to support, the process, the security, the religious leaders. So even the voters they are major stakeholders in this business. So that is why we collaborate and we are calling on everyone, because it is our project. If our democratic thrive is for the benefit of all of us, in the state. So it is not just for the commission alone to do voters education. We all have major. No, and I have to say this is what we are doing as a commission.
Commission, yeah.
May not be enough to some persons. But what we are saying that it is not only the responsibility of the commission to conduct voters' education. Even the political parties have a major role to play in this whole, exercise that we are talking about, to sensitize our people that your vote is your right, it's your constitutional responsibility, it's your democratic power, it's your voice, and you should go out to exercise your franchise. And we should all look towards this day and become active participants in the democratic process. So it is our responsibility, all of us working together towards one goal. Now, talking about the interference of government, so far this government has done relatively very well compared to what we saw in previous government. Now we can see an election that is being conducted by the commission, as it were. On getting to the commission, we are aware that previous elections were done, elections that were conducted in government house. People were on the field conducting election, results were being declared, right here in Benin. We have heard of such incident that happened in the past in this same state. So, but here is a government that has allowed the commission, giving the commission the free hand, to conduct its processes as mandated by the constitution. So by and large, from what we have seen so far, we have not had much of interference from government at all. We have gotten the kind of support that by law they are supposed to give to the commission, and the commission started very early. Unlike what you used to see in the past 3 months, 1 month to election day, people will just come together and they say they are doing something. A year ago, because as a commission we wrote and said this is what the law, the electoral says, and this is how it's going to go. They have attempts. I was somewhere and I told them that there have been attempts by the political class to interfere in the process. and we have stood our ground. We have stood our ground. There are people who have come to say we want to replace a candidate, and there's a time, I told you that there's a time in the schedule of activity where the law allows you to replace candidates. Political parties can replace candidates. We told them that time has passed, and it's a fact of the matter that we cannot replace any candidate after the time as stipulated by law. And we told them, and we put our foot on the ground, and nothing happened. So relatively, from what I've seen, growth is a gradual process.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I think we are doing well. The government has not really trampled on what we are doing so far.
All right, let me say, Mr. Dosa, you know that when we are talking about election, voters matter a lot, because the ballot we are going to get is coming from them. But a situation we see that over time, that voter interest seems to be losing among Nigerians, and you begin to ask, what is really the matter? We do hear people say sovereignty belongs to the people. But at this particular election we are having at hand, based on what she even said, a lot of people say, after all, it is a one-way traffic thing. Do you see a situation of voters not coming to be part of this process based on biases they would have had about the process in the past and something?
Well, actually, I want to say that, like he said, we have seen situations whereby local government elections were conducted under 3 months. They just abridge the program and then rush everybody to the poll. One of the reasons why we have voter apathy is what I've pointed out before. Poor sensitization efforts. He has mentioned critical stakeholders, but he didn't mention media. As we speak today, there has not been any press conference
about the media. That's where it's coming from.
Yes,
so
and maybe because I'm a journalist,
exactly.
But I expect that SCF would have had 1 or 2 press conferences, because we are the carrier of the information. If you want to get to the real critical stakeholders, there's a channel which is the NUJ. I expect the SC Commission led by the chairman. Okay, we are coming to, and you want to address the press, then you roll out your activities. You would have seen the magnitude of publication that will follow. Apart from the few of us who have taken time to visit there, I'm even sure some my colleagues don't even know the program of activities. Although I've been following them, because as a political journalist, I have interest in politics, so I follow them bumper to bumper. All the activities they've done, yes, they have actually seen them. Okay, what stops them from when they finish with the commissioner? We are just the next door neighbor to the commissioner of police. They'll just drive into a UG. You will see all the media, print, electronics, online. You will see everybody there. And then address. It doesn't cost much, but I think they are also strong with finance. I'm not speaking for them, but but they cannot talk. I'm very sure.
Okay.
One of their problems.
From this your analysis, now you are thinking that it could, to a larger extent,
yes,
affect.
Yeah,
participation
it will because even now we have only seen one political party campaigning. Just to tell you the truth, only one. I don't want to mention the name, but in fairness, I have not seen any political. There was even one political party we went to. I don't want to mention their name. They told us SL did not contact them, even in the stakeholders meeting with political parties. Although I know their problems, they are having 3 factions, so I don't know which one of the factions SL contacted him. But the one we went to said they are not aware. So that is the areas I'm looking at that will affect voters turnout, because if you go to religious leaders, I also attend the church. I don't think my pastor has even mentioned anything about coming local government election or CAN or PFN has come out. Even the jingle he said about, I'm a radio man. I listen to radio almost 24 hours of the day. I have not heard the jingle.
Okay, I know Dr. Suleiman is going to react to some of these things you mentioned, but I just want you to quickly react to, you've been covering elections, and you're a frontline stakeholder when it comes to electioneering processes and coverages of elections. So you've been covering election. Where are the areas you feel you are looking forward to when you come that day? You understand? We're talking about preparations. This is going to react on those things you raised. Now you are covering elections. You've been covering elections. What are the areas you think maybe there are irregularities? You don't want them to bring out, rear their ugly heads this time around. That the ESSEC is here so that he can take all these all the things you mentioned home.
Okay. One of the major factors that affects election is government officers coming with their official vehicle, branded, tinted glasses. That seems to intimidate voters. And then that gives on to this issue of vote buying and this thing, because once they come, the voters are intimidated, and then they are looking at the actions or inactions of the government officers. So if they can limit that, that will give credibility to the process. Then like I said, they still have between now and Friday to do serious sensitization, because I was opportune to know that even the governor has directed that government officers must mobilize for voters to come out. I'm sure he's aware that he's afraid that there might be apathy, on the part of the voters. So he has given that directive that they should mobilize voters to come out. But I think ESSEC need to do a step further. They still have the time to pass their message through the appropriate channels. I'm not speaking for UG.
No, you've already. That's, I think, significantly you've really raised. So apart from this apathy, intimidation on the day of, are there other areas you feel, if you come to cover elections,
one of the challenges,
some gray areas that you can raise so that he can
they should also check there. I don't know whether they are using the card reader. So these are the areas they have to look at. Then the voters list, whether they have pasted it. Even we don't even know where the voting centers are now. Maybe we need to tell us in this program. So where voters need to go and cast their votes. So those are some of the challenges I'm seeing now. So thank you.
All right, sir. Let me ask you. He's eager to react to some of his
It's good that we inform our viewers, give accurate information of what the state of things truly are. You see, when we talk about notice of election, it is not done in somebody's office without media, the presence of media. Alright, it was done, and the media were adequately invited to cover notice. It was published on newspaper, aired on television. That was about 360 days ago. So the media was part of it. That there's going to be an election on the 11th of July 2026. That was on 16th of July 2025. Okay, it was in the public domain. It was in our official Facebook page to carry youths who are used to social media along. On the 1st of April 2026, there was a stakeholders meeting at the ETSEC headquarters. Even the NUJ, which he's part of, we are part of the stakeholders, amongst other media group that were present in our office, where we discussed, the activities of timetable so far carried out and what is left before election day. I remember somebody spoke on behalf of NUJ in that meeting.
Okay.
So they were adequately represented.
Okay, Doc, don't.
No. I need to. No, please allow me. Sorry, man. Let me just finish.
He talks about intimidation.
Hold on, man. Let me talk about the fact that different groups, stakeholders group, have been adequately carried along. Okay. Even when we went to local government to conduct stakeholders meeting of voters education, it's not just with politicians. You are inviting other political parties, the religious leaders at that level, that local level. You are inviting the religious leaders at that level, the media at that level, the CSO at that level, people with disability at that level, the women group, the youth group. We did it at the states. We replicated in the 18 local government. You understand? Because it's not a state election. I mean, it's a local thing. So you need to go to the grassroots.
Yeah.
You get it now. So ETSEC, sincerely speaking, has been doing a lot. But the fact is that we must be frank to say that we know that there's voter apathy in our elections in Nigeria. It is not an ETSEC thing. It is a national issue. Even in the federal elections, we saw what happened in Ekiti now. So let's not. Some people are not just interested in the process out of ignorance. Some of them they are not aware enough that this it's for them. And once you say you're not going to participate in the process, maybe you weaken good governance.
Dr. Solema, maybe it's probably caused by one of these factors he mentioned. He talked about intimidation, political parties coming to with their branded vehicles and everything. I know it's against the electoral law for that day, because of course campaign had already ended, and he mentioned it that is a factor that intimidation also affects voter apathy. Some people are scared.
I think that if that's a factor for voter apathy, I think that's one of the list of factors, if you ask me. Because when I was going around during voters education, we need Gwebe, where the electorate, the people were telling their chairman, they were telling the politicians that when they are asking during campaign, they will come to them, kneel down and beg for votes. When they vote them into office, they even find it difficult to assess them, to complain to them what the needs of the people are.
So it's awareness now. So
the issue of the people also benefiting and getting for the dividends of democracy, as it were. You voted so person this election season. He promised you heaven and earth. He was there and did not do anything for the welfare of the people. The people become discouraged. That okay, why should I go and stand under the sun and vote for party A if after voting for them we don't get the dividends of democracy? So these are some of the issues that leads to voter apathy.
Alright, let's shift away from apathy because we may not have that time. We are looking at election itself coming up on Saturday, and we know that so far campaigns are about to be rounded off on Thursday. So give us a picture. What are we expecting on that day? So far, how many political parties are participating in the first instance? How many are there? What of the voter register update? Because from what I learned in the last election, we had about 2.6 million that were voters that registered and all that. At the end of the day, about 1.5
up to 2,000
participated in election, leaving the other percentage out. And I knew that ETSEC visited INEC to collaborate in terms of that. So give us update. What are we going to see in terms of participation, political parties, the electorate, and everything on that Saturday?
Yes, come Saturday 11th of July, we are set to conduct the election in 4,519 polling units in Edo State. And we have said, the chairman have said that this commission is ready to provide a level playing ground to all political parties. 12 political parties, inclusive of the ruling party in the state, has indicated their interest and have been part of the process. So they are going to be across the states, 12 of them, including PRP, Action Alliance, NNP, whatever. About 12 of them are going to participate. So what we want the masses, our people in Edo State, the good people, to come out, and since the commission has assured you of a level playing ground, come out and vote for the party of your choice. Security has been assured. Yesterday, while we were at the commissioner's office, we saw the deployment order of securities across the state is ready. So there's going to be a safe environment. We have requested, which he is working on, that there's going to be restricted movement during the hours of poll. Elections will start by 8:30 a.m. and will end by 2:30. Voting will end by 2:30 p.m. We have finished training. We are currently deploying our staffs, the ad hoc staff who we have recruited, for this process across the state to their different areas of assignments, their polling unit, their collation centers, and what have you. So we're just waiting for the day to come, like the chairman has said. We have done all that needed to be done. At that yesterday, I told the chairman that we could also do a press brief tomorrow, to also create more awareness, for people. That's kind of a last minute brief that we have done A, B, C, D, and these are our expectation, calling all the people of Edo State to come out on the day of election, cast their votes.
Okay, how about logistics? Because it's always an issue, especially all these remote areas in Edo State. So how is the commission ready to take materials?
What are the collaborations you've adopted? Yes, to reach out to the hinterlands.
Yes, we are finalizing logistic in terms of transportation of materials by Friday, God willing. Materials for about 15 local government will be leaving the headquarters to the different local government across the states. So by Friday, hopefully, we have discussed with the transport companies. We've gotten our drivers. We're just waiting for that day to come. These materials will be moved to the different parts of the state. In terms of transportation, virtually all the logistics, we have handled them. Security, while we were at the reception, he mentioned something to me, that talking about the accreditation tag for the journalists,
for the access.
Yes, and he told me what the conversation they had when they met with the chairman a few days ago or weeks ago, and right there where I was there, I put a call through to the PRO of the commission and asked why have they not gotten their tag, and he told me that he had told them that today is the day they should come and collect their tags, so the tags are ready, and today they can come to the commission. Those who are going to be participating in the process on day of election, media can come and pick their tags from the commission. And also we also have what do you call the stickers for election duty stickers. They are also ready. So virtually there's nothing that we have not done. I can't pinpoint. And the issue of voter sensitization, sincerely speaking, is not a one-off thing. It's not just only the issue. It's a continuous process, and I think that is what we as a country we must work on, because our democracy cannot thrive where citizens are not active. They don't participate. There's no way to work. It really gives room for manipulation.
We are pressed for time. As a way of wrapping up your final words on this program, we know that, like you said, it's the third tier of government. It's very important to you that they really consider election at this level importantly. So by way of wrapping up, what would you like to say to tell Nigerians as far as Edo people particular is about Edo State, about this election they should take note of?
Well, I've always had problem with Nigerians because they are very toxic. I'm sorry to say, Nigerian citizens, they are toxic. Like you rightly said, even before you put a system in place, they already criticize. They don't want to participate. Like they sing song outside, it's a governor's election, they are going to write result in government house. I refuse to join issues with them, because if you do not come out, like you said, you give room for the manipulation. So my advice is that they should stop negativity. They should stop negative narratives. Give the system benefit of doubt. You do not have a man like this, or the chairman with integrity, and you are just, before even they start the activities, you have already accused them of being government agent, or they are being used by certain forces to, meanwhile you are not participating. That's one aspect. But the other aspect is, what is even driving the electorate away is the ability to assess these elected officers. The moment they get there, to even pick their call is difficult.
So what you're trying to say, participation is important too.
Yes.
After the election,
Yes.
you're probably painting a picture that
The
they should be
elected
accessible
officer should
to the
make themselves
people.
accessible
To the people. All right, thank you so much, Jodubo. HSEC officers, in just few seconds, wrap up your whatever you have to tell the public.
You know you're from ICT and you didn't really say anything.
Just wrap up in few seconds. You don't have time here.
Let me use the opportunity to say that accreditation election is going to be by manual process, so we'll not be making use of the beavers.
Okay.
So you'll not be looking for network. In case there's no network, you don't even need network, to get accredited. Once you're accredited with the use of the voter registers, you are going to straight to voting. So that's how it's going to be on that day. Good people for those states, let us tell you that on behalf of the commission, we are set and very ready to conduct a free, fair, credible and acceptable election come 11th of July 2026. That is the Saturday ahead of us. The commission has worked strictly following our constitution and the Electoral Act, providing 11 playing ground for all the political parties.
All right, so I think we've gotten the message that HSEC is prepared, fully prepared to conduct a free, credible election. All you have to do, you've collected your PVC, ensure that you're out there to cast your ballot. Thank you so much, sir, for coming, and Mr. Duvo Okumbo for being part of the discussion this morning. Saturday is for real, 11th July. Thank you so much. Till next week. Bye-bye.